Okay, we are recording. So, the way this is going to go tonight, first of all, welcome to everyone. This is a little webinar that our team put together. And we just want to spend a few minutes each talking tonight a little bit more about our home-based business and how we're making it work right now and what initially attracted us to becoming online health and fitness coaches. And so I'm going to ask, if you're not a speaker, if you will mute your line, and I can probably go in and mute everyone here in just a second. But we have 4 great speakers for you tonight, just so you can learn a little bit more, because this opportunity is different for everyone. And that's what makes it so unique and so awesome, is that we can all work this business in a way that works for us and works for our family. And so I'm going to let Allison kick it off first, and have at it, Allison.
All right. Well, I didn't know that I was on my husband's Zoom account, so it says David, but I'm Allison, and I am a boy mom. I have 3 boys. They are 6, 4, and 6 months. So I'm in the thick of baby world still, because he's not an easy baby. But I have been coaching since April of 2017. So actually, my 3-year coach anniversary is coming up, which is crazy. I started out as a challenger. I was trying to lose some baby weight after I had my second son. And I started with 21 Day Fix, and I had the DVDs and did the programs and saw really great results. And after about 6 months of doing the programs, I had lost about 30 pounds. And so when you lose that much weight, people want to know what you're using. And so that began a little bit of my coaching journey. I was not interested in the business opportunity. I was staying home with 2 kids. My husband is a pastor. We had just moved, had a baby. There was a lot going on in my life. And people kept asking me to coach. And I'll be totally honest, I thought it wasn't for me. I didn't need it in my life. But then a lot of people wanted to know what I did to lose weight. And I found that I was sharing with them a lot, privately and through emails, and my mom and my sister-in-laws and things like that. And so it seemed silly to me to not sign up as a coach and make a little bit of money off of it, because I was telling people about it already. And essentially, as coaches, if you really want to break down everything that we do, we have our own health journey, right? We're using the programs, and then we're sharing about them, and then we're coaching people through them. And so I was basically doing everything and wanted to earn some money. So I started and I signed up, and it really just became kind of a hobby business for me until really about the last year. And in the last year, I've really begun to build my team. I've seen some income growth, and it has opened some doors for me that I would not normally have. And so I just wanted to talk quickly about how I work my business, and then also just the benefits of the business for me. And so very quickly, I stay at home and I have 3 kids. And so I definitely work my business in the cracks of my day. I work a lot in pockets of the day, I guess. So we train you when you sign up as a coach into how to work your business, and kind of it looks different for everyone. And for me right now with the baby, I don't ever have a set hour or 2 hours that I work, but I'll grab 15 minutes here and there, and I work from a list. And you can totally work your business in the amount of time that you have. You can find that time, and we can help you find it. So that's just kind of how I work. I work in the morning a little bit. I work during rest time. I very rarely work at night because this is like my bedtime. But I do work early in the mornings and throughout the day. So I probably work about 10 to 12 hours per week. But it just depends on what's going on that week, and what we have going on as a team, and things like that. What time I have available with my family and things like that. So there are 4 benefits that I'm just going to share with you quickly that I personally have experienced that I wasn't necessarily looking for, but that coaching has provided for me, and that I consider just a huge honor. So first of all, financial, this is probably the most obvious one, is financial flexibility. And so the coaching business has given me an extra income consistently over the last 2 years, of about $1,000 to $1,500 per month. And that's where I'm at in my business. I've worked to that point, but that gives me some flexibility in our budget for our family. My husband works a good job and he has a great income and we could live off of it, but there wasn't a lot of flexibility for being able to take trips or save money or pay off things. And so my business has definitely given our family that. The second thing that it's given me is opportunity to use the gifts that I have. And I was a teacher before I was a stay-at-home mom, and I liked parts of teaching, but parts of it I definitely do not like. And this coaching business has given me the good parts of that back. And so I am a gifted teacher and I can teach and I enjoy leading people. And so this business has given me an opportunity to do that in a different way, to use those gifts and to teach people through these programs. So that has been a unique opportunity that I just wouldn't have had without this business. Honestly, staying at home can be very isolating, especially when you have several kids and back to back, like quickly. And so it's given me an opportunity to kind of do something outside of honestly just changing diapers and making bottles and nursing and things like that. So it's given me opportunity. The third thing it's done is it's given me accountability. If you are sharing your journey and you are leading people, then, it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It doesn't mean that you've hit all your goals. It doesn't mean that you have to be on all the time, but it does mean add a layer of accountability. If you are teaching people to go through the programs, then obviously you probably need to know the programs and be using the programs and things like that. And if you're asking people to show up in your groups, then you have accountability because all of your people are working out and eating healthy and meal planning and all of those things. And so it doesn't allow me to be as lazy or fade into the background as I might if I wasn't coaching and if I wasn't leading people. And that's just kind of natural that you have an extra layer of accountability if you're a coach. And then the last thing that's given me that I would say that's really important is community. And so, now is the perfect time to share about the fact that this business provides a community that you might not have. I had a community where I was working in my teaching job because I taught with teachers, right? Like there's like a natural community of people that you work with. And I, of course, my husband's a pastor, so we have our church community as well. And I have friends and things like that, but I didn't have something quite like this, but we're going through this time where we're very isolated and we're not seeing people regularly, but the community that I have is that we're all going through the same thing right now. And so the coaches that you see that we'll talk tonight, we've been talking every day, we've been sharing our struggles, and just in a different, it kind of bonds you together when you are working in the same business and kind of working through the same goals. And so it's given me friendships that I would not have had beforehand. And definitely with people that we are all really different. You're going to hear from us tonight. And so it's given us an opportunity, or me an opportunity, to be in community with people that I might not normally would be. And I can learn from them and be challenged by them and be encouraged by them. So those are the 4 things that I would say coaching has given me. And would also, I think all these other coaches will say that those things are similar. You're going to hear us all talk about those things throughout the night. I think that's it.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Courtney now. Courtney, are you on?
I am. Can you see me and hear me?
Yep. Go for it, girl.
Okay. Well, I am also a boy mom, which I think all of us are boy moms that are talking tonight. And my boys are 10 and almost 8. So mine are just a little bit older, but they definitely keep me busy and all of that. And with all of everything that's been going on, e-learning has added to our list of fun things we get to do together. So I started probably originally 5 years ago. My sister had signed up as a Beachbody coach, and I was supporting her, and I did T25, I did size, and I kind of did 21 Day Fix a little bit. I had the portion control containers, but for whatever reason, life happened and I kind of jumped off the bandwagon. And about 2 years ago, I had a friend who was kind of starting to message me, and it was funny because I had just dug out my 21 Day Fix containers again, and I had dug out my old 21 Day Fix DVDs. And I had decided, coming up on a big birthday of mine, that I couldn't live the way I was anymore. I was uncomfortable. I felt miserable. Um, I just wasn't happy with the way I felt and looked anymore. And so I decided that for my birthday, I was going to start, and that was it. So I um, I started doing the program on my own, and I was doing okay. All the while, this friend was messaging me, and I was like, no thanks, I can do this on my own. Stop talking to me. And finally, I think I'd lost maybe like 7 pounds on my own or something, maybe close to 10. And finally I was like, okay, you know what? It doesn't hurt to jump in. It doesn't hurt to try. So I joined her group, and it was crazy just being a part of the group. The weight fell off faster, inches fell off, and I was feeling better, and I just could breathe again. So the community that we have, everybody is so supportive, everybody's helpful, they're encouraging. You're getting recipes, you're getting, reinforcement of doing the workout because other people are doing the same thing. So that accountability for me and the sense of community was huge. As I was starting to get results, I'd lost about maybe 25 pounds at that point. My friend was like, okay, so now you've joined my group. Let's talk about setting you up as a coach. And I was like, no, I'm a homebody. I'm an introvert.
No.
I don't want to do that. I just want to, stay at home and do my thing. But she's like, just listen. And it was a group call just like this. And it was the same girls that are talking tonight that I get to talk with that were sharing their stories. And once I heard them, I was like, okay, I have to jump on the bandwagon too. So I started coaching almost 2 years ago. And for me, that sense of community, like I said, has been huge. The accountability has kept me on track. And you guys, right now, I mean, the last 2 years, the accountability groups have kept me on track, but the last month has been insane. And there are so many struggles and challenges, and it's different, and we're home all the time, and it would be so easy to just lay around in my sweats and do nothing. I mean, I could totally do that and be fine, but because I have my group and I have other coaches that I'm friends with and talking with, and people are counting on me, I'm so very grateful for that opportunity, because otherwise it wouldn't be good. I mean, I wouldn't be showing up because of that. So in times of struggle, it's especially important to have that sense of community. Another thing I know Allison touched on, financially, I am able to usually bring in close to 1,000, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more each month, just by helping. My goal is at least 5 people per month. And when you're sharing your story and you're talking about the things you're doing and you're providing value, people, they're interested, they're watching, they're going to want to join and do what you're doing because it works, because it's not a gimmick. It's not a, diet pill or wraps or whatever other people are selling these days. It's something that works, and something that can actually help to keep the weight off too. Another benefit, and this is one that I've found is very important to me, and I didn't even know that I needed it. Because I'm such a homebody and an introvert, this coaching opportunity has allowed me, one, friendships that I never thought that I would have, but also doing things that I never thought I would do. Last year, a couple of us had earned a trip to the Bahamas, and I would never have gotten on a plane. I would never have gone to this retreat with these girls I didn't know, because that was in my mind before a complete nightmare, but it was amazing. I survived the plane trip. We lived. It was fun. But doing things like that are opportunities that I never thought were even possible. Beachbody does such a great job with providing perks along the way. So um, if you know, meet your goal for the first month out of the year, they send you a tank top. If you, I mean, every so often you get different things. So there's been tons of earned things along the way. Free ticket to Summit is something that I earned last year as well. Success Club trips. I mean, vacations and things that I never thought were possible. That's kind of what I didn't, I mean, I just didn't know that I needed that stuff to be pushed out of my comfort zone. So that was important to me as well. Um, and let's see. The other thing is that coaching is for me. I am a preschool teacher. I'm a full-time preschool teacher, full-time mom. Um, I I needed something that was just mine as well. And so coaching for me has given me something that's all my own. It's not anybody else's. I'm able to work my business normally when I'm working throughout my day. Like in the morning, I'll start and work a little bit before I get out of my car. I have like 15, 20 minutes. So I'll start and talk. I'll start and answer messages or, you know, post in my stories or do what I need to before I go into work. And then when I lay my class down at nap time, I usually have a good hour that I can do some work on posting and responding to messages and helping people as well. So I kind of spread mine out. Mine's never all together. And now even being at home, it's still not all together. I kind of put it into the cracks of my day. So whatever works for you, there is no perfect power hour or whatever time where you're working. It just kind of has to work for your schedule as long as you're doing it. I would say I probably normally work maybe 10 hours a week on my business, and I've been able to work a little bit more since we're all stuck at home, which is helpful. But you know, so that's kind of all that I have. I know I ramble. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Kristen.
Hi guys. Yes, I'm Kristen, and like the other ladies, I am also a boy mom. I can hear my boys trying to con their way out of bed right now, and my husband is having to do bedtime, which is just kind of fun to get to listen to instead of doing it. But my boys are 5 and 4, and so long story short, I started doing Beachbody programs after my first son was born. Before he was born, I was an avid gym person. I went like 3 times a week. I was just adamant that that's the only way that you could be fit. Little did I know that you actually had to eat healthy too. So stopping for donuts on the way home from the gym, not good. I thought it was fine and I did it all the time, and turns out no results. Funny how that works, especially when you only go to the gym 2 times a week. So after my first son was born, he was born at 31 weeks. So he was in the NICU for 47 days. And I had a lot of postpartum depression and anxiety. And I kind of swore off the idea of ever leaving him for any length of time. So I stopped going to the gym completely. I said, I'm never going again. I will never go. The gym that I went to didn't have childcare or anything like that. And I said, I'm not doing it. And my cousin actually was like, well, I just bought these DVDs off of an infomercial, and she's notorious for buying stuff and then never using it. She was like, do you want them? I'm never going to do this. And I was like, sure. And it was 21 Day Fix. And so after my first son was born, I started the 21 Day Fix, and I lost over 70 pounds, and I felt fantastic. But I also felt like I was too good for Beachbody. I just used this program, but I didn't need a coach and I didn't need accountability. And, you know, I'd lost the weight on my own, so I didn't need all of that stuff. And then my second son was born a couple years later, 19 months later. And I was kind of lost. Like after he was born, I just felt like my whole identity was gone. I felt like all I did was take care of other people, and I was doing nothing for myself. I was still exercising every day, but I didn't feel like joy from anything. I felt resentful toward my husband. I felt like every single thing that I did in my day was for someone else. And I watched Lisa, my coach, share about her journey and how she was actually enjoying her kids, who her kids are like right up from mine. And so I could kind of see my future in her and see that being a mom doesn't mean you have to be a martyr. And it doesn't mean that everything has to suck all the time. And I kind of like fell into this role of, well, this is just what my life is now. I just have to give up everything for them. And so after my second son was born, he also was in the NICU. I had a lot of anxiety and stress. And I just was like, I need something. I need something that's going to make me feel like me again, and not just feel like somebody's mom and somebody's wife and an employee and all of those things. And so right around that time, 80 Day Obsession was coming out, and I wanted to go all in with it. I had watched, like, obsessively watched every video about it and all of the information about the nutrition plan. And I was like, I am doing this 100%. And that meant using the products, which I had never done in the whole 4 years I'd been doing Beachbody workout programs. But I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to prove to myself that I can do something that's challenging. So I reached out to Lisa because I wanted to get the discounts. And then I just kind of like put it out there to the world, like, hey, I'm doing this program and I'm going to stick to it. And I'm proud of myself. And immediately people started like commenting and kind of wanting to be a part of it. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is making me feel good in a way that has nothing to do with my kids. And it was like this light bulb went off all of a sudden. And I was like, wow, this is it. Like, this is what brings me joy. I enjoy exercise. I know a lot of people don't love it, but I need it for my mental health, and I feel better when I do it. Sometimes when I'm actually doing it, I don't love it. But so that was when I was like, this is a real thing. And once I started getting feedback from the girls in my group about how much better they felt, it felt selfish not to coach, like to know that just by sharing my experience, if they were messaging me saying, wow, I feel the exact same way you do. Thank you for sharing, because I feel better. I'm more confident. I'm a better wife. All of these things. It was like, why wouldn't I want to share that if it can make other people feel better? And so it really started to fill this gap that I didn't even know that I had. I didn't know that I needed that thing that was just for me. And that's, I think so many people say like, oh, well, my why, why do you coach? And so many people say, I do it for my family. And that's part of it. Like, I love that my kids see me committed to something and see that I can work hard, but I really do it for myself. I do it because it makes me feel good. And it's something that I'm really proud of. I absolutely say, like Courtney was saying, just so many things that I didn't realize that I needed, that kind of permission to go on trips. I went on that Bahamas trip that Courtney was talking about, and I felt terrible guilt about leaving my kids. And then it was like, wait a minute, I worked hard to earn this trip. I get time to refresh and be with my friends and to have a break. And why don't I deserve that? And so it's really helped me to kind of like reframe how I think about things and to appreciate my family more. And I'm not resentful toward my husband anymore, because he's great about, oh, you have to do a Beachbody call, go do it. I'm here to support you. And it's really helped me to say, like, I need you to step up a little bit and do some other things. And it's given our marriage, in kind of a weird way, it's been really helpful to our marriage as well. So, and then of course, like the other girls said, just the friendships in the community. It's interesting, like Lisa and I have fairly similar personalities. We're extroverted. We will talk to anybody about anything. And Courtney and Allison are shy. And when I, go places with them, it's a totally different vibe. But it's cool to see that all of our personalities fit. And even though we are so different, we all have a place within this team. And if we were all the same, it wouldn't be fun. If we were all doing the exact same thing, it wouldn't work. But I think that's what makes our friendship so special. And that's what makes our team so special, is that we are different, but we have kind of those little things in common that link us together. And the goal really of just helping other people. Like at the end of the day, that's what matters the most to us, is when we help other people, it makes us feel better, makes us better people. And so I think that's really kind of Beachbody in a nutshell for me.
Thank you. I started laughing because I'm thinking about a time when Kristen and I were at our annual conference this past summer, and she and I got in a race car, and it went probably 200 and some miles an hour, and it was the craziest experience ever, and we're screaming and recording, and then we almost hit a fox, and it was just so random. But anyway, it's just, I don't know, we were both just loud and obnoxious, but it was fun. Well, I'm going to wrap this call up, guys, in the next few minutes. I just want to share a little bit more about my story. I know you guys have got to hear kind of a little bit from everybody else and how they got started and why they got started. And my story is pretty similar. I became a coach about 5 years ago because I was 35 and I was postpartum. And at that point, I had a 2-year-old and I had just had a baby. And so I have been a group fitness instructor since I was 22. So for 13 years, I was this group fitness instructor, and I just didn't know how to lose that baby weight. And so I saw a friend post some pictures, I reached out, and I started the 21 Day Fix program. And I got really good results. I think I lost close to 10 pounds in that 21 days. And it all just clicked for me. It all just started working. I could do workouts at home. I didn't have to go to the gym. I didn't have to leave my family. I didn't have to teach hours of classes. I learned how to eat. I learned about nutrition. I learned about portion control. And all the things just started clicking. And then magically the weight came off, right? And I think that's what's really important about what we do too. It's not just these fitness programs that we're notorious for, like Insanity and P90X, but it's also the nutrition piece. And more than that, what the other girls have been talking about, it's that community piece too. We have private online groups that we run, whether it's for a specific program or just a general accountability group, because we want to help people get results. And that's our job. And that's what's so amazing about our job, is to watch people get results. I remember seeing Kristen's before and after from 80 Day Obsession. It was amazing. And that's what really just kind of launched her business. And like all of us, we've all had really good results with specific programs, or we'll fall in love with one more than the other. But at the end of the day, it's really about that community and those private groups, and we support and love on one another. And that's what we do. That's our job, is to get people connected with solutions that work: fitness, nutrition, and accountability. And then we share our story. We all have different stories. We all have different whys. I was a dean of a college. I have a master's degree in education. I worked in higher ed for 15 years. It did not serve my soul. I came home and my husband and I would argue every single night, and I would work 40 to 50 hours a week. I would commute 10 hours a week, and I just had to get out of it. I never saw coaching as that way out of it. I just thought I would climb the corporate ladder for 30 years and get my state retirement like everyone else. So that's when I kind of thought, why not? Why not try this coaching thing? And I got good results. I started sharing those results. People were asking me what I was doing. And the great thing about this business, or network marketing in general, is that if you do the work that you're trained to do, you will witness what's called the compound effect. And what that means is that every month, if you do a little more, or if you're doing those same activities every month, it will build upon each other. And so usually that means your income will start to rise, your team will start to grow, and you will see that benefit, right? And so in the beginning, yeah, you're doing a lot of work, but 5 years in, well, let's backtrack. 2 years in, I was at the point where I could make the decision to step away from my full-time career and be home with my kids and work this as a full-time business, but full-time business with part-time hours. And so now, 5 years in, I probably work about 15 to 20 hours a week-ish. Some weeks are less, some weeks are more. This week has been crazy. I've been working in 5-minute cracks of the day when I'm not homeschooling. or, when my kids need a quick recess, or, I get up a little bit earlier, and it's just, you make it work. And that's the beauty of this business, is that there's no set time. There's no time clock. You're able to be as productive as you want. You're able to earn the income that you want. And that's what I love about this business. You don't have a quota per se. However, we do have benchmarks put in place for you to be able to have a successful business. And I've studied those, and I've known exactly what I need to do every single month since signing up to either earn what I need to earn, or maybe win that tank top that's up for incentive this month. And that's part of what I love too. I'm a competitive person by nature. And, our company, Beachbody, does an amazing job of rewarding us for showing up and doing work. Whether it's a tank top, whether it's earning a trip to our annual conference in the summer, like Courtney was talking about, our summit, whether it's that trip to the Bahamas that we earn because we're working so hard. I know we were all planning to go to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, and a lot of things just kind of transpired, and they ended up canceling the trip, obviously, but we all earned that because we were working so hard in our business last year. And so for me, that's what it's about. It's about fulfillment. It's about getting up every single day. When my feet hit the floor, I'm excited to do my workout. I'm excited to talk to people about what I've been doing. I'm excited to talk to people about how these programs and products in our community have changed my life and so many other people's lives. And it's just an absolute honor to get to do that every day in about a fraction of the time that I used to work a full-time job. And at this point, making my income has surpassed where it was in my full-time career when I left. So you can make this a part-time thing. You can make this a full-time thing. You can do what you want, and we're here to provide that type of training for you to make sure you understand what would be involved, how much you would need to work, and what you would need to do. All of that's provided for you. So I'm not going to ramble on for too long. Just wanted to share a little bit more about my story. And hopefully you guys maybe saw a piece of yourself in one of the four of us, or relate with our stories. Oh, I forgot to add, I am a boy mom as well. But my boys are 8 and 5. So it's funny that all of us are boy moms for tonight as your speakers. But there's a place for everyone on our team. I do believe that this business, anyone can do this business, but it's not for everyone. And so we'd love for you guys to ask questions. If you have any questions, pop them over in the chat bar. And if not, maybe reach out to that person who invited you here and see if they can answer some questions for you, because we are going to be putting together some training here in April. Our new coach mentorship will start on the 13th, I believe. So we want to make sure that you have the tools you need and you're set up to be successful. So I'm going to shush now. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask live? Don't be shy. No? All right. Well, if nobody has any specific questions for...
Hey, wait. Natalie had a question in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it.
No, you're good.
Does anybody want to take that?
Anybody who wants to do the work. Anyone can be successful. And if you hear more of our stories, you would understand that, like, we're all really different and we all work really differently. But also, if you look at successful top coaches in Beachbody, they're all super different. Our top coach from 2 years ago and our top coach this year, who are the level of the most highest success, like, they're super different in personality. It doesn't take, you're not like there's not a magical prototype of a coach, but you have to do the work. And so you have to show up for your health and fitness journey, and you have to share it, and you have to be willing to invite others to join you on the journey to be successful. But there is definitely not a type of person. I mean, we have like 400,000 coaches, you know, and so a lot of them are super successful and not necessarily one type.
And I would just add to that it's really important that you're consistent. So I think that's where you see success. I think that, you know, I've seen some coaches who come out of the gate really strong and they do great, and then they fall off, and then they come back, and then they fall off, and then they, you know, take a break from posting, and then they're say, oh, I'm back and I'm going to do 21 Day Fix again, or whatever it is. And people don't trust that person, because if they're in and out, then they don't feel like they're going to get that support either. So I think just being really consistent, you know, showing up every day, like Allison said, posting every single day. Courtney said, how long did you wait to announce you were a coach, and how did you do it? Oh, that's a good question. I kind of like made the decision, and then I think I announced it like that same day or within like a couple of days. And I just basically posted and said, I'm doing something that's way outside of my comfort zone, but I'm really excited about it. And I think I posted my transformation as my like coming out to the business post, and just basically said, like, here's why I'm doing it. I'm excited about having something for myself. If you're interested, I'd love to talk to you more. And then just kind of like laying that groundwork so that we could kind of start building relationships from there.
Something that you'll do in the new coach training too is you'll learn how to post and what to say, and you'll do what do we call it? Call to action post. You'll your coming out post. You'll write it and post it for your group, the coaches, and then you'll post it too. I know Lisa does that in her new coach training. At least she did when I did it.
And I do think it's important to, you know, for those of you who are, you know, thinking about this, if you don't have to be like at a goal weight, you don't have to be super fit. There are coaches of all shapes, sizes, genders, anyone could be a good coach as long as they take the action steps that we have and will provide in training and do the work. That's a very big misconception, is that I've got to be I could never be a coach because I'm not at a goal weight myself. I still have 10 pounds to lose. But what people relate to are those of us who are on a journey, who show up for ourselves, who are consistent. Like me, like I eat pizza every Friday night, you know, I mean, people know that I like Mexican food. I like margaritas. I like donuts. I'm a real person and I'm relatable, and I have a successful coaching business because of that, I think. They don't want that, you know, like bodybuilder type that never has any normalcy in their life.
There was another question from, I think, Natalie, and she asked about negative responses. You'll find that most people are very positive. That's one thing that has encouraged me along the way. I've also learned in the last year or two that I don't really care what other people think anymore, or I care less about what they think. But most people are so positive. They like the encouragement. They like how you inspire them. You will have maybe one or two people that aren't as positive, but those aren't your people. So I've kind of learned along the way that you do have to have thick skin, and you'll learn that, especially when one of the things they talk about being a coach, they want you to do is personal development. And I'm not always the best at that, but it is something that has helped me along the way. And just, you can't worry about those negative people. Just take the positive and run with it.
Yeah, I'd add to that, but like when I first started coaching, there was two people in particular that I was like, they're going to have something nasty to say, because that's just the type of people they are. You know, I think we all can think of those kinds of people that it's like, oh God, what's she going to have to say about this? And both of those people signed up with me. And one of them was like one of the first, like I had posted, and like maybe 3 days later, I got a text from her, and I hadn't talked to her in a while. And I was like, oh God, here it is. Like, here's the nasty gram that she's sending me. And it was like, I need to know more about what you're talking about. And I was like, whoa, this is not what I expected. So that was really great. And I mean, like Courtney said, there are going to be those people that are going to have their opinions. What I try to remind myself is that's not about me, that's about them. You know, if what I hear, all, you know, the negative things that you might hear is like, oh, you only want to post about yourself. And, you know, it's like, well, or like somebody said to me one time, you make me feel really bad about myself because you're up in the morning working out and I'm still in bed. And I was like, well, that sounds like your own issue. Like, but instead of being snarky about it, I just said like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I certainly, my goal is never to make anybody feel bad, but I did make you think, didn't I? Like when your alarm goes off and you know that I've already been up and working out, you're thinking about me and you're thinking about what you need to be doing, right? She was like, damn it, you're right. You know, so being able just to kind of throw it back at them and help people realize that their negativity towards you is all about them and not about you.
Yeah, and I always tell our team, it's better to be addicted to your activity than the response. And so as long as you are doing the activities that you would learn how to do, it's, you know, I have no personal feelings about any response that I get, you know. It's just more about it's not the right time for that person, or they're dealing with something, or they have other commitments and have just learned through the years, like it's nothing personal.
I will also say there have been several people that when along the way of you, when you invite them, there have been lots of people that have said no, but then those people 3 months, 6 months, a year down the road, they do come around. So again, don't give up or think, oh my gosh, I can't do this, because people are watching and sometimes they just need to watch for a long time.
One last thing and then I'll shut up, maybe. I think one of the things that we like that our team does, and I think that network marketing can get a really bad reputation because you'll see some people where it's like you just feel like they are shoving it down your throat, and every time you scroll past their name it's like, here she goes again, and they become that girl, you know, like there's that girl that sells that thing again, and that's all you see. But Beachbody and our coach training does such a good job of teaching you how to just interact as a human and not just a coach, that you don't feel like you're just pushing it on people, and people want to be connected to you because you're just sharing who you are and you're not just sharing about coaching. So I think that that's really important that we find this balance so that we're not being like that obnoxious social media person.
Yeah, I'll add to that too. It really is just about telling your story and being relatable and sharing who you are, because at the end of the day, you know, people have to trust you to know that they're handing over their health to you. And so as long as you are showing up authentically and being yourself, then you're doing nothing wrong. All right, friends. Well, I think that the chat bar is good. So I am going to stop recording. Maybe I can find stop.